study, and the study is very interesting, and that is that we're going to test out this very theory of music, and we're looking for volunteers. So in order to be part of the study, you'll have to identify the particular things that you find painful, that you find pleasurable, that you fear and desire, and then we're going to test you to make sure that you have a proper belief about the nature of God and the nature of reality. And then we're going to see whether or not you can then maintain that belief with a certain kind of power, and whether or not that makes any transformation of either you or the experiences you have. You want to volunteer for that study? That's philosophy. Say, this is philosophy. Right. Now, from it, would you not agree, you should be able to then learn directly how to make all these distinctions, since you'll be experiencing them. And you should then be able to see the difference between them and their images and their opposites to whatever degree they appear. Yes.
Let's say I'm a masochist.
Yeah.
And I still have the belief about the nature of God and reality, and my reality is being a masochist.
Yes, oh yes.
Is this the type of person where in order to achieve my reality I will have the justice even though everybody else is going to think that I am unjust?
No, we would tell your masochist, we would say, you certainly enjoy getting into fearful situations, and you seem to enjoy them, and you're able to maintain a certain equanimity of mind as you go through them. By the way, we're not interested in that this week. From now on, will you just explore states that you would call most pleasurable? No more the negative states where you may experience pain and suffering. So
I'm experiencing pleasure.
Yeah, okay. But then we would want them to experience pleasure independent of suffering, wouldn't we?
But I'm not experiencing the suffering. You are seeing me being burnt. I'm experiencing pleasure.
Yes, yes.
There's an old joke,
yes.
hit me, I'm a masochist. And the answer is no, I'm a sadist.
Yes, yes, quite true. Let me see if I can say it again, all right? Would you agree there are a certain range of experiences that that person may desire and find pleasurable, which are not attendant with any kind of heightened state that brings about any fear or pain? Would this person, then, the masochist, avoid those in preference for the other, where there is pain and there is fear, and confront those and gain his pleasure from those?
Do both.
We want him to do both.
As part of the series.
And we would bring him in and we would say, sir, you're doing very well with one class. Why aren't you spending equal time in the other? And we'd also want to know if he goes through the masochistic experiences with this belief about the nature of reality.
Isn't the idea that you would be holding a false belief about the nature of reality if you were to say the nature of reality is masochistic?
Nature of my reality is.
But that's not what we're interested in here. I don't think we're interested in your reality, your quote-unquote smaller reality. We're interested in God and the nature of reality.
Yeah. See, what you'd be doing is you'd say, would you not, sir, would you please make sure that we agree as what you're going to keep on your mind when you go through this experience? And if you have some private belief, that's very interesting, but you're not part of our study. Right, that's another way of doing the same thing, and I think, oh yeah. So therefore, if we could elicit from him why he's gaining pleasure out of pain, and it may be because he feels guilty about something in the past or something of that nature, right, we would say, sir, that's not the belief that we're interested in you maintaining through this kind of experience. Yeah.
Is the word belief in the Greek the same as the divided lines belief? That section of the divided line that has to do with opinion?
Well, very likely. Pistis, yeah. Yeah. Not all beliefs, by the way, are negative. Yeah. You want me to check? I can find them.
No, I'm just...
Okay.
Check later.
So you don't have to have understanding to have bravery then?
you can't,
Just a right opinion.
this is the beginning. This is the opening step of the yoga. This is where it starts. Right.
In music.
That's right.
Okay.
It starts here. And then you go into gymnastics. Now you're adding to it high-spirited element. Right? Then you're being asked, you're right, is this understanding to get this idea from courage? Now let's move to courage.
Right.
Right. You'd have to have a unified view of the nature of God, as we described a moment ago, would we not? All the pieces would have to fit about the nature of God.
Okay.
And that would have to be consistent with the nature of what is real or reality.
Yeah, that sounds like
Then,
understanding.
then we're going into understanding, are we not?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So belief is sort of misleading, isn't it? I mean, if you understand it, it should be you have this understanding that's a power that
Why? It doesn't
sustains you.
preclude it. It presupposes it, unless we're talking about different things. Didn't you agree that to have this would require an understanding of how to bring identify all of these things and bring them together into a unity?
Right.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
do that.
Yeah. You don't know that these are true. These are beliefs about the nature of God and the nature of reality. Agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to bring together this idea, you have to use understanding, do you not?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah. And then to know what preserves this understanding through all of these experiences, to know that, you would then have to identify other things, would you not? Beyond this. That's what he's calling wisdom. Want to go one more step? We go one more step?
I don't know if I got the last one. I know I didn't get the last one. Two. Can you?
Well, I'm on the idea here of preserving. If you're able to do this, you not only want the practice, but you'd want to preserve that, would you not? The activity, you want to preserve it? Yeah. He calls that a kind of knowledge. That's a kind of knowledge that you gain through the experience. Now, I want to use that in a way. Right? Would you agree then, if you're going to be doing that, you are going to awaken the high-spirited part, are you not? Mm-hmm. Right? You are then going to be seeing a ruling function, will you not? And you would then have to be then in controlling or influencing the realm of desire, would you not? Mm-hmm. Right. Would you not then have to deal with whether or not the soul is one or many? Mm-hmm. Would you then need a couple of principles to guide you into pulling this together? Could you then talk about it in relationship to the state? Could you then communicate this? Watch him. See, what you have, as it were, is the core. Now, to communicate this to someone else with analogies, which is what the Republic is, this is the core knowledge. Now, to communicate this to you and I, would you not agree he uses a Republic? He builds analogies, and he builds models, and he builds divided line, so that therefore we can share it, can we not, on the basis of understanding? That's understanding, isn't it? That's the other part of philosophy. So to communicate this in a systematic way where you're trying to preserve these distinctions and be fair with each one of them, that takes development of understanding, doesn't it? Analogies, which is what we started with. I agree. And some principles to guide you, such as the ones that we were playing with.
What's that?
Especially this one, to know whether or not you can make the analogy in the first place, the conditions for making analogy, in order to